What's up, everybody? Hope you're feeling salty because we just got a whole bunch of salt in, and I'm excited to show it to all of you. If any of you have questions about anything about salt, sea salt versus pink Himalayan salt, I don't know, whatever questions you got, go ahead and fire them away. We're going to be waiting for, hey, Zach, what's up, bro? Dude, we need to get some workouts in. I'm going to be living like 2 hours from you here in a little bit. Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for joining, dude. About to open up a whole bunch of salt. I'm guessing that you probably don't have like a whole bunch of salt questions because most people it's just like salt is salt, but that's definitely not true. So you are about to be educated if you'd like to stick around. Wendy, what's up? Thanks a lot for joining. All right. So I totally got your email and totally didn't have time to type an answer to it, but that was super sweet of you, everything that you said, and thank you for that. Okay, so we have kosher salt now. This is salty AF. Dude, yeah, bro. And you know what? I'm going to have to sell like most of my equipment here too, man. We're getting rid of that thing. I'm asking $4,000 for it, so I don't know if anybody's going to buy it or not. But if not, I might need I might need a spot to put it. I'm just saying. But it's going to be really, really tough to move that thing, bro. And if anybody does help me move it, just make sure that I wear shoes this time. Because if you've listened to my story, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that is why I'm injured. That's why I'm not running a marathon anymore this year. So Carly and I were just talking and thinking of maybe peaking Granite Peak. Thanks a lot for joining, everybody. Whatever questions you got, go ahead and fire away. Josh should be on like any time now. All right, well, let's just get right into it and see what this one is. This is all from Celtic sea salt. And the return address on here is North Carolina. Yeah, it's like pretty sure they're from North Carolina. All right, this is all this is the new stuff. Kosher. Bam. So for those of you that are fans of the Mackay Pure, it's kind of the salt snob salt. But this one is a fifth of the price and has just as much magnesium. So when the head researcher and I were on the phone last week, he suggested that we go with this in addition to Mackay Pure. As much as I love Mackay Pure because it's my favorite tasting salt on the planet, I'm using it mainly as a magnesium supplement. So for those that don't want to pay for a salt that is sourced from Hawaii and super, super good and super, super delicious, you can have one that tastes probably just as good or pretty close, but for a fraction of the price. So that's this guy here. Gonna get this added to our website right away. These are not on our website. But the other salts are. So I need to get the so if there's any inventory issues or like anything that you see that I'm showing you, and if anybody tries to make a purchase, then just shoot me an email and I will pay for the shipping because of the inconvenience and the confusion, if that occurs. But if I beat you to it and get the inventory done first, then that won't even be an issue. Right. And everything's at supersetyourlife.com. Josh. Go live with Josh Legends. Josh
Hello.
Legends. What's up,
Hey,
bro?
man. How are you?
Fantastic, man. I'm opening up like a giant Christmas present right now. How you been?
Good, brother. Real quick, does my mic sound okay?
Yeah, dude. Sounds great.
It's not lagging too much like last time?
No.
Okay. Just double checking because last time it was kind of super laggy.
Right
Yeah,
on, man.
man.
So
what are you unboxing right now?
let's see. So we already got the koshers out, and so this one's supposed to have as much magnesium as the Mackay Pure, but for like 20% of the price. It's way, way cheaper. So this is like something
Which
you
one
can
is that?
It's the gourmet kosher.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
buddy.
definitely one of the main reasons I got the Mackay one, because the magnesium content.
Yeah, and so and so when I was talking with Ian, the researcher guy at Celtic, uh, I was telling him that okay, I got people that want this because it has a lot of magnesium in it,
Hmm.
and he was like, okay, that's a good choice, but he goes he goes, I think you'd have an easier time selling the kosher cuts because it's not like high end
It's a
like
lot. It's
salt snob
cheaper.
kind of category, but yeah, it is a fifth of the price. So
Yeah, I've been
basically,
taking. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say basically, I think they're the same price, but this one is just a lot bigger bag, so
A
it'll
lot
last longer.
more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been using the Mackay Pure Salt now for like almost a month, I think, and I'm looking forward to making a video about it, telling
Oh no
about,
way!
yeah, making like my experience with it and everything it's done for me. And yeah, and I also saw your video that you did a while ago with the guy from Redmond's Real Salt.
Daryl Bosshart.
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah,
He's a
I wa
super smart guy, man. He's funny too.
yeah, I watched that video yesterday and I learned a lot from it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep. And I had,
There's a part one and a part two, and on the part two we were just kind of like BSing most of the time. They're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Oh yeah, no. Have you tried like infusing wine into it? What? I didn't know you could do that, bro.
yeah, but I'm definitely gonna make a video on my experience with taking the Mackay Pure Salt with the extra magnesium. It's been helping me out so much.
How so? Muscle
The
cramps?
increased magnesium content in it is like, I've been having like headaches throughout my carnivore journey, and I realized that I was low in electrolytes. So I tried all kinds of different salts, and then basically it led me to trying the Mackay Pure Salt, and that one definitely did it for me because the increased magnesium. So uh, it started taking away my headaches and my muscle cramps, and overall my performance in the gym just increasing, getting better. Everything's going great. So it's like, and you sprinkle like a little bit of it on your food every meal. So like you're getting a lot of that magnesium, and I think it's like really helping me out a lot. So
Cool. Good stuff, man. Thanks for
yeah.
telling me that. Uh, I got your address and file. I'm sending you one of these bags, okay?
Oh, oh, what? Nice.
Yeah. Just
Thanks.
decide, yeah, man. You've been a supporter and a bro for a long time, dude. And I felt bad about being later today than I said I was going to. So yeah, man, it's the least I can do. Do a side by side test and tell me which one you like better. I'm gonna I'm I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, the taste for the Mackay Pure Salt was definitely like insane when I first tried it. It was like it different from like the normal salt you get from Trader Joe's or whatever. It has a nice like gourmet taste. It tastes so good. And
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to try that one too.
So are you doing the big like kosher cut flakes? I can't remember. Or did I send you a grinder?
Yeah, I'm literally just eating the big flakes. I need to order one of those grinders from you so I can like grind it on my food.
Yeah, so I take the grinder everywhere I go for that reason.
Yeah.
But but I'm like you, man. It's just I don't know. I just like the big chunks. It's just kind of fun and different, and it's more like a finishing salt, especially with Mackay. It's so expensive. Like you don't want to just be cooking everything with it.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, it says the serving size though. That's what I like about that salt is like it has the macros on it. A lot of salts don't have the macros on it. So you read the back and you can see the magnesium content, the like the potassium content on it, and it tells you 1/4 of a tablespoon. So you just measure it out, and
Hmm.
now like, yeah. So, and it's got like over 300 servings. So pretty easy.
Awesome.
Like it. I like it.
Yeah, on their website they have data sheets that you could access, um, and and I'm actually going to be coming out with some content too on exactly what these numbers are um, because we're doing everybody's electrolytes now with just salt.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if
Yeah.
you I don't know if you've noticed, but the carnivore crowd is not really I don't see like a lot of electrolyte supplementation. It doesn't seem to be as popular in the hardcore carnivore crowd like you and I are compared to like the keto crowd.
Yeah, one thing that's very important that I've seen on the carnivore diet is that people take care of their electrolytes and regulate their electrolyte imbalances and like making sure they're getting their electrolytes. So like
Hmm.
yeah, you get most of it from the meat you eat and stuff, but salt is definitely a natural, like we've been eating it since the dawn of humanity, and we used to use it to preserve our food, preserve our meats, and people would eat so much of it back then, and nowadays we're not eating as much as we used to. So I really think that on the carnivore diet, salt is pretty important because it gives you those extra electrolytes because everybody's different and
Hmm.
some people require more of different electrolytes. And the magnesium definitely helped me.
Good stuff, man.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I used to supplement turmeric for magnesium because everybody said it was anti-inflammatory, and then no,
Nah,
and then yeah, no, if like it has a lot of oxalates in it, bro.
I
That's like the
know.
wor what that's like the worst thing you can take for inflammation.
I tried so many different things with my illness that I've been suffering with, and things like ginger and turmeric and stuff like that, all that just made it so much worse. I would feel so sick and nauseous after taking stuff like that. It just did not help at all.
Right. You start cutting plants out, and then you're like, I guess I could cut out this supplement and that supplement, and then 2 weeks later, you're sleeping better, getting better muscle pumps, and you're like, wow.
Yep. So
Apparently, we don't need that stuff.
so definitely for a lot of people that are doing the carnivore diet that are sensitive like I am, the way you can get around that is eating lots of salt because salt
Mhm.
has natural electrolytes in it and it's like the best supplement you can have.
Yeah, any kind of fresh sea salt. I mean, all of these are loaded with are very mineral dense. Zach, to answer your question, thanks for asking, bro. Yeah, the two high magnesium salts. I mean, all of them have some magnesium, but this one here comes in a grinder, and this is the one that he and I are a fan of. It's kind of both of Josh's and my favorite salt. So this is like more of a finishing salt. It's kind of pricey. This one isn't on our website yet, but I mean, like obviously, you get a lot more bang for your buck. So we did the math, and it's basically like a fifth of the price. But yeah, it's called Gourmet Kosher. I'm gonna send a newsletter out saying new product announcement. We got kosher salt. And all the chefs are gonna be like, "Oh heck yeah!"
Yep. Yeah, you definitely go through a lot of it, especially if you're eating a lot of meat and cooking a lot and
Do you do
salting and spicing your food.
do you do any seasonings, or are you just one of those like, just meat and salt guys?
Well, I know that pepper has a lot of oxalates and all the
Yep.
other. I don't know if you've seen that report by the Epoch Times that came out like a week ago or something, showing that all of the normal normal spices that people get at the store, like the brands like McCormick and uh, like the Walmart brands and stuff, a lot of the brands have high levels of heavy metal toxins in them. So they're like, not only do they have the plant toxins in them, but they
No
have the
kidding.
heavy metal toxins in them. So they're like so bad for you. And I've been trying to like cut out on all spices, but as of recently, I've just been doing like salt, pepper, maybe a little like basil, like just messing around and stuff. But I'm trying to cut out like all the spices.
Yeah. Uh, Zach, dude. Okay, Josh. So this guy Zach, he used to be my he was my running back, and and I was and I was on the offensive line, and so he and I go way back. But yeah, but I didn't know you were that meat based too, man. That's awesome. That's super cool to hear. Because yeah, you're totally right. I mean, back hunt thinking back to like hunting and gathering, um, yeah, animals were available year round. Plants weren't necessarily. And if you ever were lucky enough to get your hands on like a handful of raspberries or like wild berries or something, I mean, that was pretty much it for most people for a
Yeah,
long
the
time.
thing is, it's so hard to find wild berries and wild apples and stuff that was naturally made from the earth when everything in the produce section is literally GMO modified in a lab. It's so hard to find organic, non-GMO vegetables like wild apples and wild berries and wild strawberries. That's what you really want.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna start. So we grew up with a raspberry patch, and once we move, which is about 6 weeks out now, we're gonna we're gonna plant raspberries.
Nice.
Yeah, the kids are fans. So am I.
And are you gonna get raspberry seeds from the store? How are you
No,
gonna
I,
plant it?
I think you just get the plants. The way we used to do it is whenever a patch would last about 4 or 5 years. Towards the end of it, they just towards the end of their lifespan, the plants just kind of don't produce as many raspberries, and they're not as big. So when they start getting too old, then that's when we cut off like little pieces of them and replant them. Colt was a
Okay.
stud O lineman. Yes, sir. People question how many states. I don't know if I was a stud. I was just on the. No, dude. You know that Warby just put me on the line because I couldn't catch a football, man.
I
Yeah,
broke my foot
I,
playing football.
you did. I wish we could go back to high school with what we know about nutrition now, and 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 just do everything right. Warby was
Right.
Warby was yeah Warby was asking me when I was teaching the deadlift class like a year ago, um, for for like, okay, well, how does the nutrition side work with this, right? And I'm like looking at these high schoolers and I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is what I eat every day. I just told them, and they're like, you eat bacon? Bacon's bad for you. And I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Not even kidding. I eat like 6, 7, 8 pieces of bacon a day. I eat so
You
much.
do. What's
Yeah.
your what's your diet like now? Are you having like kind of a mix of all different varieties of meat, or?
So I made it easier to kind of help track my macros. I mean, I know it doesn't matter, and I saw Bart K's video on that, on calories in, calories out, whatever, but I still like to do what he says and track my fat and my protein and my
Yeah,
carbs too, just in case. And like for
and just
breakfast, I'll have 6 pieces of bacon usually with 4 eggs and sausage.
okay.
And then I use butter. And then for lunch, I'll have uh, 8 ounces of steak or ground beef. And then for dinner, I'll have another 8 ounces of steak or ground beef with either some more eggs or some just whatever else I can fit in, like either fish or sardines or salmon or like
Oh,
just
so,
anything really.
yeah, sardines is a good one because the whole goal is always to have your fat numbers higher than your protein, right? And so it's kind of tough to do, like even with salmon and the things that you kind of think are fattier, and then you put it on paper and you're like, whoa, that's not doesn't have near as much fat as I thought it did. So yeah,
I
now I'm
think
starting to
my
see why
fat,
people like you and everybody else are into the butter game.
I think my fat and my protein are pretty similar. Like they're both around like 170 grams, 160 grams. So I'm pretty like even on the fat and the protein. And I mean, I feel good. I feel all right. So,
How much do you weigh?
130.
That's quite a bit. So you don't have any inflammation from that much protein?
Uh, uh, my protein might be a little bit lower. My fat is definitely a tiny bit higher.
Okay.
I have to look at my Fitness Pal app, but it's around that range. Like, because I'm trying to bulk, so I added like 20 grams, 30
Okay.
grams to
Good.
see
Good.
how it goes. And yeah, it's kind of a learning process, seeing how much you need to eat to gain weight.
Yeah, you want to go up incrementally with both of them, and so as you're getting stronger in the gym, and as you're increasing in body weight, which is muscle growth, you're gonna want your protein to go up in proportion to that. But if it gets too high, then that's when it starts spilling over. You probably know this. It starts spilling over to glycogen by gluconeogenesis, and it kind of puts you. It's not exactly like a high carb diet, but you start seeing a lot of more similarities to like a high carb diet, which is what we're trying to get away from.
If I'm not mistaken, you need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, correct?
No, per pound of lean body mass,
So
and that's what.
even less.
That's what Zach's asking too. So you're pretty lean, like you can see your abs, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're probably like 12% body fat. I don't know, like somewhere around that ballpark, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, so 12% of, and I'm sorry, your weight again was 150?
130.
130. Okay. So 15% of 130 is probably like 18 to 20 pounds, right? So your lean body mass is around like 110. So if that's as much protein as you need to be able to maintain or build muscle, generally speaking. For some people it's more, for some people it's less. That kind of gets you in the right ballpark. But if you're feeling good and performing well, and I mean, I know that you're a hardworking athlete, you could probably get away with 150 no problem, which sounds like kind of where you're at. So then from there, but I mean that's still on the high end. So I would just suggest increasing your fat from there, keeping your protein there, unless your satiety signals should be working great because you're not consuming anything sweet, you're not really consuming any plants, and so as you continue to get hungrier because you're growing, I would say that your fat numbers are what should go up and what you should focus on, unless you're specifically craving protein.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't take into account was lean body mass. I just looked at my overall body weight, not how lean I was. So yeah, that's true. I'm start doing that.
But that's general too, though, because I weigh 200. My lean body mass is probably like around 165, 170 pounds. So so I'm already consuming quite a bit more protein than I need. I'm at 250.
Okay. And so you said that because of gluconeogenesis, that doesn't the body use extra protein you eat as fuel, or what does it do with that extra protein?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what happens. So if your lean body mass is around 100 pounds, we'll just use that as a easy round number to work with. That's basically your threshold. So you really notice it when you're cutting. If you're bulking, it's not that big of a deal. But when you consume more protein than what your body needs, when you get over that threshold, then it gets your body doesn't have a way to store that much protein, so it gets and digest it for the for muscle building purposes, because it only needs so much. And so once you get past that point, that spillover is going to get converted to basically a more complicated form of sugar called glycogen through a process called gluconeogenesis. So along with that comes an insulin spike, similar to when you're consuming carbs, but it doesn't spike your insulin as much as when you're consuming carbs. It's a different type of insulin spike. It's
eating too much protein is like eating carbs.
Yeah, basically. It's not the same thing as eating as like drinking a protein shake and then drinking like a Coke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is a similar response. And so with that, you'll notice more water retention. You'll notice more. You'll notice some more joint inflammation probably, and that's been kind of my most important reason to keep that inflammation down, has been so I can recover from workout to workout faster. I'm training for endurance and for bodybuilding both at the same time.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So then with that insulin spike, obviously, if you're consuming dietary fats, those will be stored as fat easier. It's a and if you're bulking, you're probably not too worried about it. If you're cutting, you'll notice that spill over quick. Have you ever spilled over on carbs before?
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. Like you go from looking 5% body fat to like 50% body fat. I mean, like it's just like what the heck happened. So it's kind of the same thing with protein, but it's just to a much smaller degree.
Yep. And oh my gosh, after that, learning all that, he realized that all the bodybuilders nowadays that are stepping on stage eating like 200, 300 grams protein, they are eating so much protein in excess. No wonder they have so many health problems.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jeez.
And if you're on gear too, you can like throw everything that I said out the window. It doesn't apply. Like your body just like soaks up protein when it's that high. But like for all of us natural athletes, I mean, that's kind of a good ballpark to start with. But I mean, if I wouldn't lower your protein at all right now, bro. Like you seem to be putting it away fine. So
yeah, all natural athlete right here.
Not a lot of us left. Zach says 0.87 is based exactly on what you're talking about, lean body mass for maintenance. Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So take your.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yep. So just take your body weight, subtract it by your lean body mass.
Yeah.
And you want to eat as much protein as that.
Yeah, but that's a rough ballpark. Like I said, for you in your case, I wouldn't take that as gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually where I start people at, and then if they're craving more protein, we feed them more protein. If they're not craving as much protein, we feed them less protein. But this only works if you don't have carbs and if you don't have plants in your diet. Otherwise you're just going to be hungry and it's a losing battle.
Usually everybody's a little different from what I've heard. Some people can do higher fat and higher protein, and I've seen a lot of carnivores take both routes and be okay. So I guess it just depends. I mean, I guess you can make both work, but I have to experiment with it and see how my body does. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, dude, thanks for joining me on this one. I'm gonna have to cut it short because we're gonna have people showing up for church. We're having like our entire church over tonight, and we're cooking a lot of meat, and now we have salt. So I think I think I'm gonna take one of these new jars and put like a kosher label on it, and then because I'm gonna do a side by side for sure, man.
Well, real quick before we go, Matthew 5 verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has become tasteless, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. Salt is good for you guys. It says so in the Bible.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite verses. Thanks for sharing that, bro.
Yep. When I saw that verse on your podcast the other day, I was like, wow, that's great. And then the Bible continues to go on talking about how salt was used for disinfecting,
Mm-hmm.
for cleaning, for eating food.
Is that still in Matthew chapter 5?
Yeah, chapter 5, verse 13.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, because right after this is where it goes more into it. Okay. Thanks, man. Okay. I'll give you some homework. Ready? If you go a couple of verses earlier, that's the Beatitudes, right? The Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the kingdom because the kingdom of heaven is blessed are those who mourn. Blah blah blah. So there's 9 of them. Flip over to Galatians, chapter 5:22, I think.
5:22.
Mm-hmm. Verse 22 and verse 23. You guys didn't know this was going to turn into a Bible study, did you? You never know what to expect on our show or on this channel. Okay, so there's 9 fruits of the Spirit, right? And if you go back to the Beatitudes and go back and forth, you'll see that they're actually all correlated with each other. Mm-hmm. So a pastor that lives down the road from me here wrote a book on it. It's called Being Happy. It's called Crazy Happy by Daniel Fusco. And he totally figured this out and wrote an entire book on like how you can apply each of the Beatitudes to your life, and then how you can expect it to show based on how they correlate to the 9 fruits of the Spirit in Galatians 5:22.
Hmm.
I'm just kind of a nerdy dude that likes that when I see a pattern like that, I'm like, whoa, what the heck? That's fascinating. But yeah, Crazy Happy by Daniel Fusco. And it's just one of those like pop Christian books you can just pick up and read like when you're on the treadmill or something. It's just not, you don't have to think too hard about it. It's a fun one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Thank you for sharing that, bro.
Yeah, amen. God bless you. And yeah, I'm gonna probably be working on a video soon, definitely about my experience taking the Mackay Pure Salt.
Yeah, tag me. Any video that you make, man, tag me and I'll share it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because literally it's been so amazing. The increased magnesium content in the salt has done so much for my carnivore journey and for my workouts,
Yeah.
my muscle cramps, my headaches, and it definitely helps. So
thanks, dude. And you know what? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been turned on to this whole idea, man. This was you really planted a seed when you opened that can of worms about the magnesium content. I was like, that's the last piece to my whole electrolyte puzzle.
yes, most carnivores will be okay because they get everything. Some people can get everything just from the meat alone, the meat and the salt, but that extra salt just helps out some people like me that need more because we work out. So
yeah, exactly. Well, good stuff. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. Really appreciate all the support, all the love. You can find everything at supersetyourlife.com. You got to follow this Josh guy because he's brilliant. He's got a new YouTube channel that he's starting, and he's a super smart guy. Like I said, he's responsible for like literally how he has he planted a huge seed. Why am I having such a hard time talking right now? he planted a huge seed in terms of how we're coaching all of our clients now. So yeah, boy, if anybody hears that, they're like, I'm not coaching with that guy. He doesn't even know how to talk. It's been a long day, everybody. I'm sorry. About to host some dinner. Oh yeah, there it is. I recognize that. Where's the rest of ours? Oh, they're in this box here. Yep. That, and then I think the only one I didn't show yet was the Flake River salt.
yep.
That's a good one too.
The Mackay Pure Salt. Hey, yeah, this also has a lot of calcium and potassium as well, so that's definitely really good also. So yeah.
All right, brother. God bless, and we'll do another live the next one. You're my guy. Every time Celtic comes on, I'm sending you a DM. We'll make it happen again, okay?
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it, bro. Catch you on the next one. See ya.
Yep. Have fun at church.
You got it.